afternoon in Chicago. Fox Sports welcomes you to U.S. Cellular Field. It's the second of a three-game weekend series between the Chicago White Sox and the Seattle Mariners. We welcome you to Fox Saturday Baseball. Kenny Albert along with Tim McCarver. Entering the series yesterday, the White Sox had lost 6 of their last 7 games, but Tim, last night they showed some resiliency. Led 5-2, fell behind on a 7th-inning grand slam, and then defeated the Mariners in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, that's a good point, because often it's not only that you win a game, but how you win it. And for the White Sox to come back after that grand slam, tied in the bottom of the 7th, and win it with a walk-off home run by Andruw Jones, that's particularly inspirational.
Andruw Jones with his 2nd home run of the night on his 33rd birthday. Now on the other side, the Mariners started the season just 2-6, but they have won 7 of their last 9 games. So it's Ichiro and the Mariners looking to bounce back this afternoon in Chicago. Can the White Sox expand on their last inning heroics last night? The American League West, the Mariners batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Ichiro leads off, followed by Sean Figgins. Franklin Gutierrez bats third. Jose Lopez in the cleanup spot. Then the DH, Ken Griffey Jr. First baseman, Casey Couchman. Bottom of the order, Eric Burns, Rob Johnson, and Matt Tuiasosopo, as the Mariners face a former Seattle Mariner, 33-year-old right-hander Freddie Garcia, getting set to make his 3rd start of the season. Garcia with a record of 0-2. Here is his sprint pitcher profile.
Early strikes, that's what Ozzie Guillen told us. That's what Freddie will be looking for today. His splitter can be good, but only when he's ahead will he use it. And he's trying to get that big game moniker back.
And this game, Tim, brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. The beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. 7-6 win for the White Sox over the Mariners last night, as Ichiro steps in against his former teammate, Freddie Garcia. And takes ball one. Ichiro, 2 hits last night. He scored 2 runs, batting .324, 4th in the American League in hits. And Tim, you mentioned early strikes. Garcia falls behind 2-0.
A lot of pitching coaches are changing that. You've got to throw strikes to you've got to throw early strikes. No strikes thus far from Garcia, and this has been his problem in his 3 starts, falling behind. You can't fall behind major league hitters and expect to get them out.
Garcia catching the outside corner, now 3-1. Ichiro, Figgins, and Gutierrez for the Mariners. Here in the top of the first inning, Garcia quickly off the mound. The throw to first is in time, 1 away. The White Sox in the field, presented by Scott's. In the outfield from left to right, Juan Pierre, Alex Rios, Andrew Jones. Paul Konerko at first, Gordon Beckham at second, Ramirez at short, Tian at third, and the battery of Garcia and Pierzynski.
You can add this to the Scots defensive profile that this field will hold 69,000 gallons of water before it shows it.
Wow.
That little note is from Ed Farmer, who's doing radio for the White Sox this afternoon.
No rain yet today. We are told they do not expect rain until about 6 or 7 tonight. One and one now on Figgins. Switch hitter batting from the left side against the right-hander Freddie Garcia. Figgins just 2 for 23 lifetime against Garcia with 8 strikeouts.
A lot of times you can refine that statistic. Figgins is still a good hitter. Garcia is struggling as a pitcher.
The 2-1 from Garcia fouled off to the left side. Now 2-2. And Garcia in his last start 8 days ago in Toronto allowed 7 earned runs in 8 innings. Blue Jays won the game 7-3. He allowed 2 earned runs in 7 innings in his first start against Minnesota. Lost that game 2-1. The 2-2 to Figgins. Check swing. Strikeout number 1 for Garcia. So 2 away here in the Mariners' first. You want to see your name on air? Play MLB on Fox. Tune in to win now on foxsports.com/tunein. Make your predictions during today's game between the Mariners and the White Sox. And you must hurry. The predictions must be submitted by the end of the second inning. Stick around to increase your chances of winning with the 7th inning bonus question. Winners will be announced on air by Tim and I during the 9th inning. Log on to foxsports.com/tunein to play now. Franklin Gutierrez batting .391. Second in the American League. Trailing only the former White Sox, Scott Podsednik of the Kansas City Royals. Podsednik batting .415.
Slider.
Strike 1.
You know, the one thing you don't see that often, you do not see called third strikes taken that are splitters. Normally the effect of a splitter is a splitter that looks like a strike, like that. Falls out of the strike zone, goes below the hands and below the knees. Garcia, a good splitter thus far in the first inning.
The 2-2 to Gutierrez. Garcia missing away. Full count. There's Jose Lopez. Hit that 7th inning grand slam last night, giving the Mariners a 1-run lead. Lopez on deck. Payoff pitch to Gutierrez. Strikeout number 2 for Garcia. Good start for Freddie Garcia. With Pierre, Beckham, and Jones due up. Sox batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Juan Pierre will lead off, followed by the second baseman, Gordon Beckham. Andrew Jones, 2 home runs last night, will hit third. Paul Konerko in the cleanup spot, then A.J. Pierzynski, Carlos Quentin, Alex Rios, Mark Teahen, and Alexei Ramirez as the White Sox face 6'8", 26-year-old right-hander Doug Fister, who has been outstanding over his last 2 starts. Fister with a record of 2-1 and the 5th best earned run average in the American League. Juan Pierre takes a called strike.
When you're 6'8", it seems like you're pitching from a taller mound. Hoping to match his last outing. He works very, very fast. And his last outing taking a no-hitter into the 7th inning, as all Mariner fans know.
The sprint pitcher profile for Doug Fister. As Pierre fouls it off to the left side, now 2-2. Over his last 2 starts, Tim, against Oakland and Baltimore, Fister at one point did not allow a hit over 10 innings combined over those 2 games. Did not allow a run in 14 innings. Figgins, high throw, Kochman, 1 away. We check out the Mariners in the field, presented by Scott's. In the outfield from left to right, Burns, Gutierrez, and Ichiro. Kochman, Figgins, Tuiasosopo, and Lopez. With Johnson behind the plate. You see the note on Kochman. Last night he became the 2nd first baseman in baseball history to go at least 200 games without committing an error. Kevin Youkilis was the first.
Kevin with 238 consecutive games that were errorless. So Casey Kochman about a month and a half away from that record.
Casey Kochman in his career makes 1 error every 500 chances.
He can pick it.
White Sox second baseman Beckham at the plate. We told you about the possibility of rain later, hopefully following the conclusion of the White Sox and the Mariners. The Marlins and the Rockies, Tim, were postponed last night as Beckham is called out on strikes. That was the first game that was postponed in baseball this season.
That's hard to believe, isn't it? Good fastball by Fister. Right on the outside part of the plate, taken by Gordon Beckham. And I'll guarantee you the American League's not going to hold Beckham down for long. He is a good-looking young hitter.
Beckham now just 3 for his last 23. Here's last night's hero, Andrew Jones. Homered in the 1st inning. And then with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, a walk-off on his 33rd birthday. That is number 5 on the season by Andrew. And he went deep again at the bottom of the 9th. Off the fists. Tuiasosopo, the shortstop, is under it. And the White Sox are retired in order by Doug Fister in the 1st. Bell, think outside the bun. By Scott's official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. And by Sprint, the Now Network. Back in Chicago, Kenny Albert with Tim McCarver. Mark Kotsay of the White Sox wearing a microphone for us today. Let's listen.
Mic'd up, yeah. Mic'd up to sit on the bench, dude. Isn't that great? Yeah. Coxie, what kind of baseball were we talking? Because I do have the mic on if you want to chat. I do have a mic on today. Yeah. I am wearing the mic for the dugout today, representing the bench players.
Seems to be very proud of the fact that Mark is wearing a microphone.
And you may also notice the circular Band-Aid that many of the White Sox players, including Mark Kotsay, are wearing in tribute to Andrew Jones, who was wearing a similar bandage last night when he hit the 2 home runs on his birthday. So his teammates have joined in this afternoon.
That's like when your grandchild has a boo-boo. You wear a Band-Aid wherever your boo-boo is.
Do you know from experience?
I do.
Jose Lopez leading off for the Mariners here in the second inning. We referenced his grand slam in our open. 7th inning last night after the White Sox took a 5-2 lead. One and two now on Lopez, who is 1 for 8 lifetime against Freddie Garcia. Third consecutive strikeout for Garcia as we check out our 4 keys to the game.
Well, if you're the Mariners, you want to bounce back after that tough loss last night, the walk-off home run by Andrew Jones. And the White Sox trying to win with a right-handed starter. They're 0-5 this year with their right-handed starters. Their left-handed starters 4-2 on the early April season.
You got to look at Ozzie Guillen in the White Sox dugout as Ken Griffey Jr. steps in. Ozzie said last night, even after Lopez hit the grand slam, putting the Mariners ahead, he loved the enthusiasm in his dugout. And Griffey sends this one to right center. And the catch is made by the center fielder Rios for out number 2. So 5 up, 5 down so far today for the Mariners. Next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the New York Mets head to Philadelphia to take on Ryan Howard and the Phillies. Some of you will see Michael Young and the Rangers take on these Mariners in a showdown between Western Division rivals. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Budweiser, returning next week at a special time of 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, following This Week in Baseball at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. Casey Kotchman takes strike 1. Kotchman batting .259. He leads the Mariners with 12 runs batted in. Now 1 and 2.
That's the type splitter we were talking about in the first inning. Normally, that entices particularly left-handed hitters for whatever reason to swing at that pitch out of the dirt. The splitter going down. Most effective splitters, you don't get a called third strike on it.
Garcia missing away, 2 and 2 to Kotchman. 2 outs, top of the second inning in Chicago. Payoff pitch from Garcia, bounce to the right side. Beckham to Konerko. Garcia with his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Budweiser with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. Middle of the order for the White Sox here in the second inning. Paul Konerko, A.J. Pierzynski, and Carlos Quentin. Doug Fister retired the White Sox in order in the first. And the first pitch to Konerko in for a called strike, 0-1. Fastball in for strike 2, 0-2. Konerko with one of 4 White Sox home runs last night. Bounce to the third baseman Lopez for out number 1. With one away, here's A.J. Pierzynski. The White Sox catcher batting just 163, 8 hits and 49 at bats this season. White Sox with good power numbers, Tim. They're second in the league in home runs, but as a team batting just 219, which is last in the American League. And Pierzynski on the first pitch rounds out to Kosman for out number 2.
Yeah, 50% of the runs scored by the White Sox via the home run ball. And that's not unusual, but the White Sox were supposed to be a different team this year. Supposed to be a team built around playing Ozzie ball with speed on the bases. Thus far, they have not shown that, even though they're faster than in years past.
Ozzie said prior to the season he wanted more stolen bases than home runs, something that has not happened for the White Sox in 18 years. So far they've stolen 18 bases and have hit 23 home runs. Carlos Quentin went deep last night. His 3rd home run of the season. 6 of his 10 hits have gone for extra bases. This one coming just shy of our broadcast booth as Quentin goes deep. Last night, his 3rd of the year. Konerko homered, Andruw Jones with a pair. On the other side, Tim, the Mariners have hit just 7 home runs as a team.
Yeah, you're seeing 2 totally different offenses put out there by the Mariners and the Sox today. Sox relying on the home runs, not the Mariners.
3 players around Major League Baseball have hit as many home runs as the Seattle Mariners have as a team this year. Matt Kemp, Vernon Wells, and Nelson Cruz, all with 7. Quentin strikes out. Second strikeout for Fister. We'll return to Chicago after these messages from your local Fox station. as let's build something together. Bottom of the order for the Mariners here in the third against Freddie Garcia, who has thrown 28 pitches over the first 2 innings and has retired all 6 Mariners who have come to the plate. Eric Burns just 3 for 20 this season, but his good lifetime numbers against Garcia, 5 for 16 with a home run. The 2-1. Burns pops it up to the right side. And the catch is made by the second baseman Beckham for out number 1.
You mentioned a home run, Kenny, and obviously when a hitter scores on a home run, you score the easy way. You cross home plate the easy way. And the reason we bring that up is with Rob Johnson coming up. Last night in Anaheim, Mark Teixeira scored the hard way. And in the process of scoring, hit Bobby Wilson, a clean play, by the way, under the rules. But what a collision it was in the third inning of last night's game. Mark Teixeira, Bobby Wilson left the game with an injured left ankle and a concussion. And we're both reminded of our conversation with Tony La Russa last week. I suggested in a meeting with La Russa on Friday night that if a base runner.
Johnson pops it up. Brzezinski throws away the mask, makes the catch for out number 2.
Goes into a catcher. If a base runner goes into a catcher and hits him above the shoulders, anywhere in the head, the base runner is automatically out, and he's also automatically out of the game. That is not the case right now, and I'm not meaning to imply that Mark Teixeira made a dirty play by going into Wilson in the fashion that he went into Bobby last night. But I think the rules should be changed because baseball should protect their catchers like football protects their quarterbacks. And interestingly, Tony La Russa, who is on the competitive committee, one of 14 people, said that sometime within the next month that he would bring that up. And I wonder if in the conference call this last week, Tony brought it up, and I kind of wonder if he's thinking about that with the Cardinals playing in Arizona now.
Well, a couple of things. It was Wilson's first Major League start behind the plate for the Angels last night. You mentioned NFL quarterbacks, and Matt Tuiasosopo, who is at the plate now, his brother Marcus was an NFL quarterback with the Oakland Raiders a couple of years back. And Mike Scioscia told our Ken Rosenthal earlier today that in his mind, it was a clean play by Teixeira.
Absolutely clean play. Under the rules as they are today. In my opinion, those rules should be changed. And that play should be made illegal. And if a runner goes into a catcher and hits him above the shoulders, he should be ejected from the game and called automatically out at home plate.
On the ground to the shortstop, Ramirez. Third consecutive 1-2-3 inning for Garcia. Middle of the third in Chicago. No score. Bottom of the third inning against Doug Fister. And Rios takes ball one. Batting .250 this season. 1 for 4 with a double in last night's game. Now 2-0 with Martin waiting on deck. Then Alexei Ramirez.
First thing that you notice when you see Alex Rios from the center field camera is how low he holds his hands. Almost below the waist. Very unusual. Because there's so much movement to get back on top of that high fastball.
Rios 6'5", does not face too many pitchers who are taller than him. But Fister is 6'8". The 3-1 to Rios. And he sends it into right on the run, and making the catch is Ichiro. One away. We spoke with Mariners manager Don Wakamatsu between innings, and we asked Don about today's pitching matchup so far.
Pretty impressive so far. Freddie's got his fastball command going. He's got a good changeup working, and he's keeping the ball down. There's a lot of similarities, I think, between him and Doug. Doug's got a good feel for the outside pitch right now, and looks pretty confident.
Speaking of similarities, Don, pitchers who work fast have a better chance to win, don't they?
Well, it keeps the defense sharp, that's for sure. You know, these guys, but you look at both of them look pretty calm out there, and that's why these guys are pitching so well right now.
Don, 18 games with the White Sox for you back in '91. What are your biggest memories of playing in Chicago?
Well, it was a short time, I know, number one. But no, just the fans and obviously the guys that I played with. And we talked a little bit earlier, but my experience with Jeff Torborg and the coaching staff was phenomenal.
And Charlie Huff, too, huh, Don?
Without a doubt. The limited time I spent up here was due to one man. That was Charlie Huff. Belief system that I could catch his knuckleball.
Thanks very much, Don.
Thanks for having me.
Don Wakamatsu had a 12-year professional playing career. As team goes around now 2-2. But played only those 18 games in the major leagues with the White Sox in '91. He started 9. He was a catcher, and as you referred to, all 9 starts came with the knuckleballer Charlie Huff on the mound.
Kenny, we didn't have a chance to run that theory by Don before the game, and that theory again was any base runner who hits a catcher above the shoulders and into the head area should be automatically ejected and an automatic out at home plate. And when you think about all of the collisions at home plate, the one that stands out, the 1970 collision of Pete Rose and Ray Fosse in the 1970 All-Star Game, 40 years ago. It's hard to believe.
Ray Fosse still a broadcaster with the Oakland A's. And he has worked some Fox Saturday baseball games through the years as well. Base hit into left field. First hit of the game on either side. As we take a look back, Tim, at some of those famous plays at the plate.
1970, the All-Star Game, Pete Rose barreling into Ray Fosse. Then in 1985, Jack Clark into Mike Scioscia. And you could say that's exactly what we're talking about. And then last night, all of these plays, by the way, were clean plays. They were legal plays. But again, baseball should protect their catchers because they are at a premium. Not a lot of young guys are, and 2 catchers are watching what happened last night. Mike Scioscia, the manager of the Angels, and Jorge Posada, the catcher for the Yankees.
And we just saw Mike Scioscia on the wrong end of that collision back in 1985.
Yeah. But it's a real problem in baseball. I mean, just from the natural difficulty of the position with foul tips, with things behind the plate. Francisco Cervelli of the Yankees with a concussion this spring because of a collision. It's a real problem.
Out at first is Ramirez as the Mariners turn the 5-4-3.
We told you he could pick it.
Queen. And by Valvoline, guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles. Top of the fourth inning in Chicago. No score with Ichiro leading off for the Mariners, and he takes a called strike from Freddie Garcia, 0-1. Ichiro bounced back to Garcia, his first time up. Reaches out, fouls it off to the left side, 0-2. Tim, what a first decade it has been in the major leagues. This is 10th season for Ichiro.
That's a great caption. Death, taxes, and Ichiro. A man who attained one-name status faster than Napoleon.
And he has that name across the back of his jersey. Nice play made in front of the third base dugout by Tian to retire Ichiro.
Mark Tian near the dugout. This ball did not have a lot of hang time. Good play by the Sox third baseman. Very nice.
So with one away here, Sean Figgins called out on strikes back in the first inning. Tip, just to put an exclamation point on our discussion about collisions at the plate, and you talked about our conversation with Tony La Russa, and he's a member of that 14-man competition committee. They held a conference call last Monday, and Tony told us last Saturday that he was going to bring it up either on Monday's conference call or a subsequent call. When you think back to your playing days, do you remember one specific collision as the worst that you were ever involved in as a catcher?
I remember two. One by Lou Brock in 1972. 1971, Lou Brock, I'd been traded to the Phillies, and I knew I had a concussion after that collision. But, of course, in those days, nobody checked for concussions.
Did you stay in the game?
The game was over. It was a throw from Willie Montañez in St. Louis. The other was an earlier experience with Tommy Agee, who came in harder than any runner, a guy who could run. Of course, Lou Brock, one of the great stolen base champions. But those two collisions were two that I remember very, very vividly. And on the Brock collision, I know I had a concussion.
Figgins strikes out for the second time. Fourth strikeout for Garcia. Well, Fox Sports is proud to team with the Breast Cancer Research Foundation during our 2010 MLB on Fox season. The Breast Cancer Research Foundation helps fund the most advanced and promising breast cancer research. Join the fight by texting CURE to 27722 to donate $10 or visit bcrfcure.org. Messaging and data rates may apply. Franklin Gutierrez struck out his first time up. 11 up, 11 down for the Mariners so far this afternoon. So Garcia, after throwing balls on the first three pitches of the game to Ichiro, has taken your advice with early strikes to many subsequent hitters.
Well, a superb breaking ball and splitter thus far for Garcia.
Gutierrez got a piece of it. Garcia, as we mentioned, struggled in his last start in Toronto 8 days ago, allowed 7 earned runs in 8 innings. Came into this game with an earned run average over 8 over his first 2 starts.
Good pitch right there. Not every pitch is thrown designed to get guys out. Some are thrown to set up the next pitch. That fastball inside to Gutierrez. Probably a setup pitch for a fastball away. You could see pinky by Brzezinski.
Only 53 pitches. 4 strikeouts. The 1-2 to Gutierrez. 2-2. Garcia's 76 wins as a Mariner. Only Jamie Moyer and Randy Johnson have more. This pitching coach Don Cooper. Very pleased with Garcia's outing so far. Gutierrez, deep left center. On the run is Rios. He looks up, and it is out of here. The first base hit of the game for the Mariners. First home run of the season for Gutierrez. Seattle takes a 1-0 lead.
After going 0-2 to Gutierrez, the Mariners tipping their caps. That was Ken Griffey Jr. tipping his cap to Franklin Gutierrez. Well, that was a breaking ball right in the middle of the plate. There it is, and a tip of the cap to a man with 630 home runs. He's tipped his cap a few times.
Beckham throws out Lopez, but the Mariners are on the board. Only the 8th home run hit this season by a Seattle Mariner. On a home run by that man, Franklin Gutierrez, his first of the year, giving the Mariners a 1-0 lead over the White Sox as Juan Pierre leads off for Chicago here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pierre grounded out to the second baseman Figgins, his first time up. Top of the order for the White Sox against Doug Fister, who has thrown only 34 pitches over the first 3 innings, allowed 1 base hit in the 3rd, and Teagan was erased on a double play. Now 2-2 on Pierre. balls, 2 strikes with Gordon Beckham waiting on deck. Payoff pitch to Pierre, up the middle, backhanded by Figgins, and Pierre is on with the White Sox second base hit of the game.
Terrific play by Sean Figgins, but nothing for Sean to do once he rolls over like that on the ground. Of course, no way to get the speedy Pierre. And now the Mariners will have to worry about Pierre taking the extra base. He has 8 stolen bases in 10 tries this year.
And he leads all active players with 467 career steals. The man who is second on the all-time list is in the White Sox dugout celebrating his 43rd birthday today, and that is Omar Vizquel, the former Mariner. No one to Beckham. Nothing in 2.
Good job by Pfister holding the ball. That is often the best weapon with a speedy runner on at first base. Upset his timing. The rhythm of base running, similar to the rhythm of hitting, the rhythm of throwing in baseball. Good job.
Omar Vizquel. Beckham strikes out for the second time. 3rd strikeout for Doug Pfister. Well, Tim, a number of chart toppers in today's game. You mentioned Griffey's 630 home runs. Ichiro most hits in the majors since 2001. Juan Pierre on at first with 467 steals. And the man we just saw celebrating his 43rd birthday today with 11 Gold Glove awards.
10 Gold Gloves at the plate now.
That's right. Pierre back in. And we had a great conversation with Ozzie Guillen this morning about Andrew Jones. They were teammates in Atlanta. Andrew, the hero for the White Sox in last night's game. And Ozzie told us when he first spoke with Andrew and when he signed with the White Sox, Andrew told him, I want to play every day. And Ozzie said, well, I never bench a guy who can hit.
Andrew's saying he was in good shape. Ozzie said, I don't care about what kind of shape you're in. Can you still play? As only Ozzie Guillen can say it.
Yes.
Ozzie talk. It is so bold, so brash, so honest.
So refreshing.
Oh, it really is. I know he has his detractors because of that. But I can tell you, I'm not one of them.
Ozzie led the White Sox to a World Series title in 2005. Last year, he joined our Fox studio crew during the postseason.
Yeah. Did a great job, too. And people just love that honesty. I would have loved to have played for Ozzie Guillen from a playing standpoint.
And Jones walks on 4 pitches. Pierre heads to second. Well, Tim, a lot of Ozzie talk this past week. On Monday, I'm going to Miami. I might not come back. On Tuesday, there's one person I don't want angry with me, and that's my wife. If she gets angry with me, that's going to cost me a lot of money.
He even used her middle name.
Yes.
Cardenas Guillen.
And then Ozzie on A.J. Brzezinski. When A.J. got here, nobody liked him. Now we like him a little bit more. If A.J. goes somewhere else, good luck to the manager that's going to be with him. And following a closed-door meeting on Wednesday, it was a talk more for me than for them. And Ozzie also said good teams win, bad teams have meetings. And right now, we are bad. And if you're wondering why he went to Miami, he wanted to watch his son play a high school game, Osney. So Ozzie traveled down. Game was rained out.
First and second. Beauty, I'll tell you.
First and second for the White Sox. One out. Throw to second off the glove of Figgins, but Pierre holds. Ozzie told us this morning that Osney's senior prom was last night down in Miami, and the high school coach scheduled a practice for 10 o'clock this morning.
Bad timing. Anybody knows if you go out on a prom, you're not going to be ready to practice at 10 the next morning. Unless you go to practice in a limo.
Just foul. Well, Chevy and Scouts are building diamonds and dreams. See how kids can win a ballpark makeover, and you can win a new Chevy at ChevyBaseball.com. I'm sure there were many makeovers leading up to that prom last night.
That's one way to put it.
Head to a high school practice in a limo. That's a new one.
Yeah. Be the envy of all your teammates.
Pierre again back in at second.
That's a timing play by the second baseman, and Juan Pierre is probably saying, hey, Sean, something against me? I mean, Pierre last night before the game met with Sean Figgins, and here he gets on second base for the first time in this game, and they've had 2 pickoff tries. But it's a timing play. Pfister looks home and knows Figgins is going to be there and turns and throws knowing that Figgins will be on the base. You blindly throw to second with confidence that the second baseman will be there.
Nothing in 2 on Konerko, who grounded out to third his first time up. Pierre with an infield single to lead off the inning. Beckham struck out on 3 pitches. Then a 4-pitch walk to Jones. First and second, 1 out. Brzezinski on deck.
Single it up.
And Pfister steps off.
Nice.
You could see Figgins giving signs down there. He went to his thigh, his cap, and then to the L in Seattle.
Right again.
The bouncer Figgins steps on second, fires to first. Double play.
How about that double play? Because he was holding Pierre on, he gets a 4-3 double play for Konerko.
Ken Griffey Jr. will lead off here in the top of the 5th inning for the Mariners against Freddie Garcia, who has allowed only 1 base hit, 1 base runner. Franklin Gutierrez took Garcia deep with 2 outs in the 4th inning after Garcia retired the first 11 Mariners. Murphy flied out to the center fielder Rios. His first time up back in the 2nd inning. Ken Griffey Jr. turned 40 years of age in November. When he hits his first home run this season, Tim, he would become only the 4th player in history to hit a home run as a teenager and after he turned 40.
It's longevity right there.
Garcia missing away, now 2-1. On the ground to the second baseman Beckham. 1 away.
Remember, we were talking about with runners on at first and second and 1 out, the signs from Figgins to Pfister, the pitcher. Those were the signs, 4 of them. And what he did, he gave himself the signs and positioned himself to be in perfect position when Konerko hit the ground ball up the middle in that end of the inning.
Here's Figgins' good friend and former teammate with the Angels, current teammate with the Mariners, Casey Kotchman. Kotchman grounded out to second baseman Beckham, his first time up. Nothing Mariners, top of the 5th inning in Chicago. Now 2-1 on Kotchman. Three balls, 1 strike.
By the way, the home run and only base runner of the Mariners today, Franklin Gutierrez, that ball was hit without us uttering that Freddie Garcia had a perfect game going. So guys can get hits when announcers don't mention that a guy's got a no-hitter or a perfect game. It's not always the announcer's fault. And the reason I'm saying that is because Dave Sims, I'll guarantee you Dave is listening to our telecast. He is an announcer for the Seattle Mariners. And when Doug Pfister worked his last game with a no-hitter into the 7th inning, Dave Sims was accused of that hex that announcers put on pitchers, which I've always considered just ludicrous. Makes no sense whatsoever. But Dave's listening, and he has a smile from ear to ear right now.
Broadcasters have nothing to do with it?
Broadcasters have nothing to do with mentioning whether a pitcher has a no-hitter. But, you know, I was almost right before that home run, I was going to say, hey, you know, it's pretty close.
Did you say it on April 10th?
I did.
How about April 17th?
I did.
April 24th?
I didn't.
Ramirez. Kotchman is retired. We spoke moments ago with White Sox skipper Ozzie Guillen about Garcia's performance today.
He was throwing the ball very well. It reminded me of the first game start here and throw the ball good, throw more strikes. And when Freddie, started throwing a strike, you're going to have a good day.
How about last night? You said we were desperate for a win, and you felt even after the Lopez Grand Slam, you liked the enthusiasm. Do you hope that a game such as last night's can carry over?
Well, I hope so. I think every manager will hope for that. I think after that we was down, and I look in the dugout, the guys still fighting, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for fighters, and the guys never give up.
Okay, thanks, Ozzie.
All right, guys.
All right.
The always entertaining manager of the White Sox, as Eric Burns flies out to Alex Rios in center. 1-2-3-5 for Garcia. Still 1-0 Mariners. Mariners with a 1-0 lead over the White Sox here at U.S. Cellular Field as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. A.J. Pierzynski will lead off for Chicago against Doug Fister, making his 14th Major League start, his fourth start this season. Allowed one earned run in 15 innings over his last two starts against the A's and Orioles, and has shut out the White Sox over the first four innings today. Strike one to Pierzynski, who grounded out to the first baseman Kochman back in the second inning.
Changeup.
And Pierzynski sends it into left. Burns is under it. One away. Tim, our Verizon game summary, with the only run scoring on a Gutierrez solo home run in the fourth. Fister 4 1/3. Has allowed only 2 hits. Garcia, 1 hit, the home run by Gutierrez, and he has struck out 4. So with one away, here's Carlos Quentin, and the curve is in for a strike, 0-1. Quentin's home run yesterday ended an 0 for 23 stretch. 0-2.
Doug Fister, an engaging young man. We had a chance to talk to him yesterday. He's from Merced, California. It's about an hour from Fresno. His dad is a police officer. His mom is a probation clerk. And his dad gets up to see him pitch in Seattle.
Right field, Ichiro at the edge of the warning track. 2 away.
And Kenny, we had a lot of fun with Doug Fister last night. We asked him if he was a rookie, and he said yes. Well, he's not. He threw 61 innings last year, and the cutoff for a rookie is 50 innings. And it was refreshing to see a young man think he was a rookie and not be one.
It's a good thing you set him straight.
Yeah. I said, I don't think so, Doug. I'm not sure. We're going to check on that. And sure enough, we checked, and if you have more than 50 or more innings in any one season, that disqualifies you from rookie status.
So he is not eligible to win the Rookie of the Year award.
Maybe the Sophomore of the Year, but not Rookie of the Year.
He made 10 starts last year for the Mariners. Rios with a base hit into center field. Third hit of the game for the White Sox. Time for a DirecTV game break. The Dodgers and the Nationals tied at 3 in the top of the 11th inning. Russell Martin with a deep drive to right off Miguel Batista. Willie Harris runs into the wall but makes the catch. And the game remains tied at 3. Then at the top of the 13th, Martin with an RBI single to center. Rafael Furcal scores. 4-3 Dodgers. The only way to watch every MLB game in HD, call 1-800-DirecTV. Martin at the plate. He's singled back in the third inning. First hit of the game for the White Sox with Rios on at first following his 2-out single. So 13 innings in our nation's capital. That's nothing after what we sat through last Saturday in St. Louis.
That's right. 20 innings, a 2-1 Met lead, and win over the Cardinals last week.
A game that was scoreless through 18.
Scoreless after 18, 1-1 after 19. 19 pitchers in that game.
17 of the 19 pitchers did not allow a run. 2 of the pitchers were position players. Rios goes. The throw is high. And Rios is in with his 4th stolen base of the season.
Well, 2 things. A breaking ball to Rob Johnson, the catcher, and also a left-handed batter up there. Those are 2 things. That tag on the back, very, very close to being before the feet got in there. That was really a closer play, and we picked up with the naked eye.
The 2-1 to Tien, base hit into right field. Rios holding at third, held up by the third base coach Jeff Cox. So the White Sox have runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the 5th.
Tell you, we've talked about it so much that I thought we were going to have a play at the plate.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. There's that steal of second base to put Rios in scoring position. Tell you, that's a very tough play. That glove comes right down on the left shoulder. He could very well have been out, but it's understandable that Ed Hickox couldn't see that play because he's watching the feet instead of the tag on the shoulder. But that strong arm by Ichiro prevented the possibility and the potential play at home.
So now Alexei Ramirez, 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, called strike, 0-1. And we had another look at that Rios steal. Stats Inc. informing us that Rios is 5th on the all-time list, most career steals for players 6'5" or taller. The top 4, as Tim chuckles here in the booth: Von Hayes, Dave Winfield, Darryl Strawberry, Dave Parker. Alex Rios is 5th.
6'5" or over. Oh, that's great. Love that.
Johnson heads out for a chat with Fister.
Well, why catchers do that? You'll never see a catcher do that unless there are runners on at 1st and 3rd. And what he does, Rob was telling the middle infielders what he's going to do in case the runner at 1st, Mark Tien, tries to steal 2nd.
Ramirez with a shot, deep left field. Burns is back on the warning track. He looks up, he leaps, and it looked like he knocked the ball back in play.
I think you're right.
2-run score. Rios and Tien come home, and now Ozzie Guillen is out of the White Sox dugout. Did it hit Burns' glove, or did it hit something else?
Well, you may have a replay of this ball. I mean, give Eric Burns credit, knowing the ball was going to be out of the ballpark. He climbs the fence. And how many times have you seen guys climb the fence with their back to the wall with no chance of fielding it? And I think you're right, Kenny. I think he actually brought the ball back. Climbing. Yeah, he knocked it. He hit it with the thumb of the glove and deflected it to the yellow line. It's exactly what he did. Otherwise, that's a home run. One more shot. Thumb of the glove off the top of the yellow line, and he saved a home run. That's at least one run.
Yeah, it hit the top of the wall,
That's
the top
right.
of the yellow line, and then bounced back into the field of play.
That's exactly right. Good call, Kenny.
So the White Sox take a 2-1 lead. RBIs number 5 and 6 for Ramirez. He is on at second with Juan Pierre at the plate. Tuiasa Sopo with the throw across to end the inning, but the White Sox take a 2-1 lead. Heads up play by Eric Burns. Saves an extra run. New 2468 value menu all day, every day. By Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage. And by Chevy. Every model is backed by a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. We move to the 6th. On the first pitch, Rob Johnson runs out to the shortstop. Ramirez, one away.
I'll tell you, Kenny, I am not sure that the Seattle Mariner players in the dugout realized the impact that Burns had on that play. Now that saves a run. He goes into the dugout, and his teammates are kind of nice going. I think Eric is upset that he didn't catch the ball instead of just deflecting it. But he clearly saved one run. Could have saved 3, but clearly saved 1.
I agree. It looked like he was upset he did not make the catch.
Yeah.
Tuiasa Sopo, center field. Rios backpedaling, moving to his left, 2 away. Tuiasa Sopo making his first career start at shortstop. the injured Jack Wilson, who jammed his thumb last night. So Ichiro with 2 away. First a look at our Toyota in-game box score for the Mariners. Seattle with only 1 base hit, 1 base runner in the game. Franklin Gutierrez, a solo home run off Freddie Garcia back in the 4th inning. Garcia retired the first 11 Mariners prior to the home run, and he has retired 6 in a row since the home run.
I think the first thing that you look at when you look at Ichiro are his shoes.
So for 3, we'll continue the discussion about Ichiro's shoes when we return to Chicago. A 6-pitch 6th for Garcia. Beckham looks to bunt his way on. And he is out at first. Terrific play by Lopez.
That's a good play by converted second baseman. Moving from second to third and getting a guy who moved from third to second. Gordon Beckham. That's a dandy play. Good anticipation. Barehanded throw over the crouching fister. Sounds like something you would find at Cirque du Soleil, the crouching fister.
So with 1 away, here's Andrew Jones. And he takes a called strike, 0-1. Ripped into the left field corner. Jones on his way to second. And he's in with a stand-up double. Well, Andrew Jones with a pair of home runs last night in the first inning. And the game winner in the bottom of the 9th. Andrew may hit another one today, but we can't guarantee it. We know that Valvoline will guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles. Valvoline, the first and only motor oil in the industry to guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles. So Jones takes his lead off second with Konerko at the plate. Konerko grounded into a double play his last time up. He is 0 for 2. Lopez looks Jones back to second. 2 away. So tell me some more about Ichiro's shoes, Tim.
Yeah, we told you we would tell you a little more about Ichiro Suzuki's shoes. Don Wakamatsu bringing up a point that I don't think I've ever heard yesterday, saying everybody knows that Ichiro, he only missed 16 games his first 8 years, how he takes care of himself, how he stretches, and how he takes care of his feet. He often massages his feet during a ball game. He'll take the shoes off, and he will get rid of most of his pairs of shoes after each series. He wears them 3 or 4 games, and that's it. I don't think in my experience I have ever heard of a player doing that, getting rid of shoes after 3 or 4 games. That's Ichiro must go through 50, 60 pairs of shoes a year. But there is so much for baseball to learn about a guy like Ichiro Suzuki. How to eat, how to take care of yourself, how to prepare for a game. We were talking about it last night. It seems like Major League Baseball ought to pay Ichiro Suzuki for his formula of how to prepare for a game and all the things that it takes to be as healthy as he is.
Krasinski grounds out. 8th inning for Fister will return to Chicago after these messages from your local station. Build something together. What a performance by Freddie Garcia this afternoon. Over the first 6 innings, he has retired 18 of the 19 Mariners he has faced. Sean Figgins leading off for Seattle here in the 7th. Figgins has struck out twice in the 1st and 4th innings. And Tim, you were talking about Ichiro's shoes. You had a Close-up look at Shaquille O'Neal's shoes the other day in the hotel, right?
Oh, my gosh. Cavaliers staying in the hotel in which we are staying here in Chicago. I couldn't believe the size of his feet. I couldn't believe the size of him.
Higgins draws a leadoff walk here in the 7th. Cavaliers and Bulls, Game 4 tomorrow here in Chicago as Franklin Gutierrez steps in.
Well, we'll call this pitch by pitch the definition of a hanger. That's not one. Neither is that. Nor is that. Nope. Not that one. Not this one. And not that one. But here it is. That's how the Mariners scored their only run.
And Garcia, Tim, pitching with a man on base for the first time in today's game.
That's right. First time from the stretch, right.
The only prior base runner was Gutierrez, who homered back in the 4th. We mentioned Ozzie Guillen's wife, Evis Cardenas, earlier. Freddie Garcia, very close with the Guillen family. Ozzie's wife is the aunt of Freddie Garcia's wife. And Ozzie, a big reason why Garcia was brought back to Chicago last year after he was released by the Mets in spring training.
Wonder if Ozzie realizes that's nepotism. It's kind of nepotism.
Throw gets away from Konerko. Figgins moves to second. Error charge to Garcia.
This throw into the runner. It hits Figgins. Had it not hit Figgins, it bounces down the right field line in foul territory. And Garcia very upset with himself. Changes a pitcher's pattern when you get speed on the bases.
So Figgins takes his lead off second. And the 1-0 to Gutierrez. Garcia missing inside, ball 2. Two and 1. Sergio Santos, a real interesting story, up and throwing in the White Sox pen. The shortstop until this past fall. Santos pitched for the first time in his career at the Arizona Fall League.
Ozzie Guillen telling us before the game, a lot of people saying that Sergio Santos has pitched only a year. Ozzie said he has not pitched a year. He's pitched about 4 months. And to break camp with the White Sox, a guy who throws 97 miles an hour, pretty impressive.
He is not allowed to run in 7 innings as a major league pitcher. The 2-2 to Gutierrez. Long run for Andrew Jones. And it's up in the 5th row. Now it's time for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge Spotlight. Just as Freddie Garcia gives the White Sox the edge, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. Garcia in 6+ innings today has allowed only 1 hit, 1 run, One walk, he has struck out 4. Looking for his first win of the season. He's 0-2. Has never started a season 0-3. Two and 2 count on Gutierrez with Jose Lopez waiting on deck. Figgins takes his lead off second. 2-2 from Garcia. Called strike 3. Gutierrez strikes out for the second time. 5th strikeout for Garcia. So Lopez will step in with 1 away. Tim, time for our Who's That Tweeter segment. I know it's not you.
One of my favorites.
The following quote was sent out on Twitter earlier this week, waiting for cable people to show up. It's amazing to me. Now you have to wait for cable as if I was getting it for free. Was it Nick Swisher, Torrey Hunter, Ozzie Guillen, or Ichiro? What do you think?
I know the answer to that.
Before we fill you in on the answer, with Lopez at the plate, J.J. Putz, who allowed the grand slam to Lopez in the 7th inning last night, the former Mariner. Lopez rips it into the left field corner. Coming in to score is Figgins, and we are tied at 2.
Slider to Gutierrez for a home run, and the slider to Lopez to tie it for the Mariners. The slider speed bat, you hear that often in baseball. Sliders are a very dangerous pitch if they don't go down. And the 2 mistakes that Garcia has made today are on sliders that have not gone down, but just hanging there.
9th run batted into the season for Lopez. Here's Ken Griffey Jr. 0 for 2 today. Well, Tim, I know that you know it was Ozzie.
Yep.
Who tweeted about waiting for the cable guy. And as I was saying, J.J. Putz allowed the grand slam to Lopez. As soon as the game ended, Putz sent out on his Twitter account, "Thank you, Andrew Jones, for saving me." Andrew, of course, hitting the game-winning home run, the walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. After Putz had allowed the grand slam to Lopez in the 7th. One and 2 now on Griffey.
Well, that split finger fastball has been an ally of Freddie Garcia this afternoon. He has really used that pitch effectively.
.417 of Griffey's 630 home runs have come while wearing a Mariners uniform. Looking for his first this season. Garcia missing away, 2 and 2. Mariners with a run here in the 7th. Lopez, the runner on second with 1 out. 19th pitch of the inning from Garcia. Beckham to first. To retire Griffey. Lopez moves to third. Well, for exclusive information, analysis, and breaking news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Log on to twitter.com/MLB on Fox, facebook.com/Fox Sports, or myspace.com/Fox.
I think Ozzie Guillen's going to give Freddie Garcia at least one more hitter. And I think he's out there to ask him whether he wants to pitch to Kochman or not. The thing about pitching around a hitter with a runner on at third base, it's totally different than when a runner is on at second base. Because if you throw a wild pitch in the dirt with a runner on at second, he goes to third. If you throw it with a runner on at third, he'll score. In that splitter, the ball down out of the strike zone has been Garcia's best pitch, and I think appropriately they're going to Eric Burns right here. This makes all the sense in the world to me. You don't want to pitch around a guy when the splitter's your best pitch, because then you end up throwing a wild pitch and the runner scores anyway.
So Kochman will be intentionally walked. Mariners will have runners on first and third with Eric Burns at the plate. Burns 0 for 2 today in a 2-2 game here in Chicago. Garcia missing high and away, ball one. Burns, remember, saved the run in left field back in the 5th inning on the ball hit by Alexei Ramirez. Now 2-0. Rob Johnson waiting in the on-deck circle. First and third, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. 2 balls, no strikes to Burns. Burns, Brzezinski, and the inning comes to an end. So Burns fouls out with 2 on. 7th inning stretch time in Chicago. Just for Men hair color. By Toyota. And by Sharp Quadrant TV technology. You have to see it to see it. Bottom of the 7th inning in Chicago with the White Sox and the Mariners tied at 2. Today's MLB on Fox Tune In to Win bonus question is, how many extra base hits will both teams combine for in the 8th inning? To answer, visit foxsports.com/tunein to make your prediction before the final out of the 7th inning. Out of the game, sign up today for next week's MLB on Fox game at foxsports.com/tunein. Well, Carlos Quentin grounds out to Matt Tuiasosopo. One away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Freddie Garcia in the White Sox dugout. The Toyota in-game box score for the White Sox. Ramirez with a 2-run double. Back in the 5th inning, White Sox with 6 hits, while the Mariners have only 2. Ball 1 to Alex Rios. Rios 1 for 2, singled and scored back in the 5th inning. Now 2-1 on Rios. Tim, I noticed for the second consecutive week you left me during the 7th inning stretch. Where'd you go? You've worked some long games. Caught all 16 innings 3 times. Yeah. Rios with a base hit into center field. So you caught 16 innings 3 times. You pinch hit in a 17-inning game.
Yeah.
You broadcast a 19-inning game back in '85. Broadcast a 20-inning game last week.
It's a lot of time in the booth and at a ballpark. It's a lot of stuff.
And Yadier Molina.
I think I was more tired after that 20-inning game
last week, right?
And after catching 16, when maybe not in 1963, but 66.
How about Yadier Molina last week? Caught all 20 innings in our game Saturday, and then caught 9 innings the next night. 29 in 2 games for Yadier.
It seems to be one of the themes of this telecast. There has been a premium on catchers in baseball. Talked about the collisions at home plate. And that's one of the reasons that the Chicago White Sox have to make a decision about A.J. Pierzynski. He becomes a 10-5 guy on June 14th. That means 10 years in the big leagues and 5 years with the same team, where he can nullify a trade. So if the White Sox do decide to trade him, and what a commodity, a left-handed hitting catcher, a guy who plays a lot of games like A.J. does.
Team takes a call strike, 1-1, and we read Ozzy's quote earlier this week regarding A.J. and if he were to go to another team. The decisions for the general manager of the White Sox, Kenny Williams. Kenny Williams' son, Kyle, drafted in the 6th round today by the San Francisco 49ers, a wide receiver out of Arizona State.
Wow. Wow, good going. For a big man, Doug Fister has a very good move to first base. Normally, if you're that big, you don't have quick feet. But Doug, not only a good basketball player, but a good high school football player. Merced High, I believe, in Merced, California. You don't usually see quick feet like that on a man who's 6'8".
Only on Shaq, right?
Shaq. I was thinking of Shaq when I said that. I don't know whether Shaq has as quick a feet anymore, but he certainly is a big guy. Woo. Man.
You know, wherever Shaq is in Chicago today, he's tweeting. He was one of the first celebrities to tweet.
Yeah, that's right. What a week this has been for Chicago sports. Good and bad, but interesting.
Yes. Playoffs in basketball and hockey.
Mm-hmm. Cubs were...
Many stories surrounding the Cubs and White Sox.
Yep. Cubs were in New York. They lost 3 of 4 to the New York Mets. Then they won in Milwaukee last night.
Time called by the home plate umpire, Marty Foster.
Normally, home plate umpires are not giving hitters timeout on plays like that before pitches. In fact, Pfister had made a move toward home.
Rios goes and Tian fouls it back.
Big news, and as far as the Cubs are concerned, Carlos Zambrano, a man who has started 6 opening days since 2003 for the Cubs, has been moved into an 8th inning relief role as a setup man for Chicago. And that starts tonight in Milwaukee.
Called strike 3. Tagged out at second is Rios. A strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Good
7 innings in the books in Chicago. Sergio Santos. We talked about Sergio during the last inning, a position player for 7 seasons in the minor leagues. In fact, he was an all-star, the starting shortstop in the Eastern League All-Star game at the AA level back in 2007. But he has made the conversion and is not allowed to run in 7 innings this year for the White Sox.
Ozzie Guillen saying that he is a closer in the making. That's how good a stuff he has.
Santos facing Rob Johnson, leading off for the Mariners here in the 8th. Mariners with a run in the 4th on a Gutierrez solo home run. And then Jose Lopez with a run-scoring double in the 7th inning.
Santos, an 8th inning setup man. That's what we're dealing with right now, perhaps with both teams.
Popped up to the right side, shallow right. Andrew Jones coming on, makes the catch for out number 1. MLB and People Magazine are looking for individuals who make a difference in their community. 30 everyday All-Stars will be honored at the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. To nominate, go to peopleallstars.com.
And Kenny, I know Lou Piniella and a lot of the Cubs and perhaps a lot of the Brewers are watching this game today as we are going to Milwaukee. And I saw where Lou Piniella said putting Carlos Zambrano as an 8th inning setup man makes a lot of sense. I respectfully disagree with Lou Piniella, our buddy. Worked with Lou on the Fox telecast. Great manager.
Andrew Jones backpedaling, makes the catch to retire Tuiasa Sopo.
I mean, when you think about it, there aren't that many games that the Cubs are going to take into the 8th inning with their offense and really be in need of an 8th inning setup guy to hold the lead. And I think Zambrano is too important to the Cubs as a starter to have his innings cut into like that. But it is a big story here in Chicago and has been all week. I just do not think that is the right move.
Ichiro takes strike 1. Here is Lou's quote. You look at the box scores every day. Games are won in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th innings. There are a few blowouts early. This makes all the sense in the world. The words of Cubs manager Lou Piniella. So Carlos Zambrano now the $91 million 8th inning setup man for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Ted Lilly will make his first start of the season for the Cubs tonight in Milwaukee. 1-2 now on Ichiro, who is 0 for 3 today.
101 wins, second since 2003 to Roy Oswalt of the Houston Astros, second in strikeouts. I don't think there's any question about whether Zambrano can do the job in the 8th inning. I just think that the Cubs are going to get more worth out of Zambrano once every 5 days prior to the 8th inning as a starter. And to me, he was signed as a starter and not an 8th inning setup man. I mean, to me, it's unprecedented. How many number 1 starters on a team have you seen made into an 8th inning setup man? Would you do that with starters in the past? I don't think so.
A 1-2-3 8th for Santos. The crowd erupts. Blackhawks must have won. We'll find out. more storage as DirecTV. By Lexus, the only luxury car maker with 4 hybrid models. And by Sears Blue Lawn and Garden Crew. Bottom of the 8th inning here in Chicago. Doug Fister pitching into the 8th. Facing Alexei Ramirez, who drove in the 2 White Sox runs in his last at-bat with a 2-run double back in the 5th. As we saw and as we've been discussing, Eric Burns saved a home run. Would have been a 3-run homer. But Burns got a glove on it, deflected the ball off the top of the wall. And Ramirez held to a 2-base hit, although he did drive in the 2 runs. Lopez across to Kochman. And it is time now for a DirecTV game break. Yankees and the Angels, bottom of the 5th. Yankees leading 6-0. Andy Pettitte on the mound. Howie Kendrick strikes out. Mike Napoli strikes out. Brandon Wood strikes out. So Andy Pettitte strikes out the side. They are now in the top of the 7th. Yankees with a 7-1 lead over the Angels. And Andy Pettitte, Tim, will meet his 3rd president on Monday at the White House.
How about that?
Juan Pierre at the plate with 1 away here in the White Sox 8th. Andy Pettitte, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, and Derek Jeter have gone to the White House as World Series champions and met Bill Clinton. They've gone to the White House as World Series champions and met George W. Bush. And now they will meet the #1 White Sox fan in our nation, President Barack Obama, on Monday. Pierre slaps it into left, and it drops for a base hit in front of Eric Burns.
Sometimes your no doubles defense, your opposite fielder is too deep, and I think that was the case there with Eric Burns. Juan Pierre has 13 home runs for his career, so you know he doesn't have power the other way. And yet the Mariners were in their no doubles defense, which is deeper than normal. And now Pierre on at first, and obviously a threat to steal. I wonder who the first World Series champion was that saw a president. Probably the 27 Yankees.
Perhaps. Just foul down the right field line. Yankees are in Anaheim, and they will begin a series in Baltimore on Tuesday. They have an off day Monday, so they will visit the White House. And how about what Brian Cashman and Joe Girardi have done as far as distributing rings to players who are no longer with the Yankees? Brian Cashman drove across town to Citi Field to meet Xavier Nady when the Cubs were playing the Mets earlier this week. Presented Nady with his ring. Pierre goes, and Beckham fouls it off, and then Yankees in Oakland this week. Chad Gaudin and Edouard Ramirez with the Yankees last year, now members of the A's. Joe Girardi called them over during the pregame stretch and presented the rings to Gaudin and Ramirez, and they received an ovation from their former teammates.
That's very nice. Another strong outing by a 26-year-old right-hander who appears to have a bright future, Doug Fister.
His 3rd terrific pitching performance in a row. 8 shutout innings against Oakland back on April 13th. Allowed 1 run in 7 innings in his last start against the Orioles. Pierre out at first.
We talked about his quick feet earlier, about Doug Fister. And that is a perfect move and a perfect throw to first base to Casey Kochman to get him. You can see Juan Pierre committed towards second base and clearly was out. tag made on the right elbow before he touched the bag.
So Juan Pierre picked off. Tuiasa Sopo throws out Beckham. So we head to the ninth in Chicago. Mariners and White Sox tied at 2. Together. We head to the ninth in Chicago. Kenny Albert, Tim McCarver. White Sox and Mariners are tied at 2. Doug Fister has pitched 8 innings for the Mariners.
Great job.
And now Bobby Jenks on to pitch the ninth for the White Sox. So Jenks in a tie game will face Figgins, Gutierrez, and Lopez. Fastball in for strike 1 to Sean Figgins.
Bobby Jenks, a member of the All-Star team, the last game played at Yankee Stadium. And I remember kidding him before the game. Have you ever thought of changing your name from Jenks to anything? Think about that as a short reliever. If you've got a name like Jenks, you've got to make sure it's spelled correctly.
That's right.
No J-I-N-X.
Nope. J-E-N-K-S. 1-2 on Figgins, who struck out twice, walked, and came around to score back in the 7th inning. Beckham, 1 away. Well, today's Lexus hybrid game-changing player is Eric Burns. Remember, Mark Kotsay of the White Sox is wearing a microphone for us today. Let's listen to Kotsay describe the run-scoring play and left by Burns.
He actually hit it and it kept it in. Yeah, it hit his glove and then it came straight down off his glove on top of the fence. Yeah, I mean, he missed it, but he kept it from being a 3-run homer too.
Mark auditioning for a possible job with Fox.
I think he described it as well as we did.
Yeah. Very nice job.
Here's Gutierrez, who did hit a home run that left the ballpark back in the 4th inning. After Freddie Garcia retired the first 11 Mariners he faced.
Now, the one thing opposing teams are going to find out in the American League is that you do not get into a bullpen fight with the Chicago White Sox. Their bullpen is their strongest part of the game. Ozzie Guillen confirming that before the game. He said our bullpen is as good as any around. And they are.
Santos pitched a perfect 8th. Now it's Jenks in the 9th.
Matt Thornton going 2 1/3 innings last night for the win.
Thornton struck out 5. Gutierrez down on strikes. Well, it's been a great sports weekend here in Chicago. White Sox and Mariners are tied. Cubs in Milwaukee tonight. Big win for the Blackhawks. Bulls game 4 with Shaq, LeBron, and the Cavs. And Notre Dame's Jimmy Clausen drafted last night by Carolina. Now, I mentioned during Ichiro's at bat in the 8th inning. Listen to the crowd. Just prior to that swing, you heard the crowd erupt. Blackhawk fans listening on transistor radios as Marian Hossa scored in overtime to give the Blackhawks a 3-2 lead over the Nashville Predators. Jose Lopez smacks a base hit into right field, his second hit of the game. So the Mariners with a 2-out base runner here in the 9th. And Tim, you asked the question a couple of minutes ago about the first team to ever visit a president. Yeah. Our statistician Eric Merlis has come up with the answer, and they did not have far to travel. The Washington Senators back in 1924 visited Calvin Coolidge in the White House.
The big train was their ace, Walter Johnson.
So now 86 years later, the Yankees will be the latest World Series champion to visit the president this coming Monday.
I did not know that. Nice job, Eric. The Roaring 20s.
Two 2-0 now on Griffey.
I think the way you approach a guy like Ken Griffey Jr., I mean, Jr.'s 40 years old now, and you don't throw him a, hate that term, but a subprime fastball. You want to, if he's going to beat you, you want to make him hit your best fastball. No sliders. He turns on the ball down, which is the one he can pull. And you see, he's not going to catch up to that ball. You're 40 years old. Very difficult to catch up. Now, if that ball's down around the ankles, he can pull that pitch. But here it is, fastball situation, and Junior can't get around on it. Too much to do.
Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, White Sox will have last night's hero, Andrew Jones, followed by Konerko and Pierzynski. 2 outs, top of the ninth inning, and a 2-2 game. Lopez goes. The throw down to second is not in time, and Jose Lopez has his second stolen base of the season.
Too big a jump by Lopez. And he's in there rather easily. The throw by Pierzynski. See Lopez look, but clearly in there.
You talk about Griffey and his age. How about the note up on the scoreboard? Ken Griffey Jr. at the age of 20 recorded the final run by a visitor at the old Comiskey Park back in September of 1990.
Right across the street.
Half of his life ago.
That was a splitter from Jenks. That's a bad pitch.
There it is, Tim. The last triple and scored the final run by a visitor at the old Comiskey Park. Payoff pitch from Jenks, and Griffey fouls it back.
You got away with one there. I mean, to me, you've got to make Griffey hit the fastball. And this was not the fastball. It's a split finger. Boy, did he ever get away with one right there.
Pitch from Jenks, ball 4, so Griffey heads to first. Mariners have 2 on with 2 out. And Casey Kotchman coming up. Hurry in to get your free Scott's MLB Fan Guide, available exclusively at Lowe's. So Jenks retired the first 2 Mariners in this inning, Figgins and Gutierrez. Lopez singled to right, and Griffey works out a walk. Pinch hitter for Ken Griffey Jr. Jack Wilson, who has that jammed thumb, unable to start the game today, but he will run for Griffey. First pitch to Kotchman. Fair ball, base hit down the right field line. Lopez rounding third. He will score. Wilson holds at third. As the ball, now he's sent home. Wilson sent home as the ball hit. Looked to hit a fan in the corner, or got lodged underneath something in the right field corner. Ozzie Guillen out to argue.
I think third base umpire, fielding culprit, is saying that had a fan not interfered, in his opinion, the runner from first base, Jack Wilson, would have scored. And that is an umpire's opinion, because that ball would have rattled around in the corner. Ozzie's going to argue it, but an umpire does have that discretion of allowing the runner from first to score if, in his judgment, the ball, and think about it, had the ball not been fielded by the fan, it goes all the way to the wall. That's and right. Jack Wilson scores on the ball.
And we are shielded from that corner, so hard to tell what exactly the ball hit until we had to look at the replay. But the Mariners awarded that second run, and they now lead the White Sox 4-2.
So it's a double fan interference, but in the opinion of the umpire, third base umpire fielding culprit, in my opinion, he's right here. Ozzie's going to complain and may get run from this game, but I think Culbreth is making the right call, because clearly Jack Wilson, who was already almost on third base when the fan interfered, would have scored, because that ball goes all the way to the wall. I think that's a good call.
And Casey Kotchman with a 2-run double with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th as Ozzie continues to let his opinion be known to the umpiring crew.
The point is, in my opinion, Bobby Jenks fell behind and the White Sox fell behind on the pitches to Griffey and not on the hit by Kotchman. If you make Ken Griffey hit good fastballs in that situation, he might do it. But if he does it, that's your best chance of beating the Mariners, or at least holding them down in the 9th inning. but he walked Griffey. I mean, think about it. If you can throw a 2-0 fastball and a 2-1 fastball and overpower a guy like Griffey, why can't you throw it with 2 strikes?
Now, it looks like the umpires would like the fan ejected as well.
So the runner, I mean, that ball is going to matriculate down the right field line in foul territory. And Jack Wilson, a fast runner, that's why he was put in the game.
And there was no hesitation from Field and Culbreth.
No.
So the Seattle Mariners with 2 runs here in the 9th inning, after Jenks retired the first 2 of the order. And the Mariners now lead 4-2. Slow roller charging is Ramirez. And Burns is out at first, and he can't believe it. But we head to the bottom of the 9th. Jones, Konerko, Pierzynski, 4-2 Mariners. Winning today's MLB on Fox. Tune in to win. Visit foxsports.com/tune in to see your results. If you missed this week's game, make sure to play next week. Andruw Jones leading off against David Aardsma, a former White Sox and the first player listed alphabetically in the all-time Major League Baseball register.
Right ahead of Henry Aaron.
Dutch Zwilling is the last player listed. Played in the major leagues from 1910 through 16.
What was that first name? Dutch. Oh, Dutch.
Dutch Zwilling.
Dutch Zwilling. Z-W-I-L-L-I-N-G.
You got it. George Zuvering in the modern day era would be listed last. I once had a book from Aaron to Zuvering. It would now be titled From Aardsma to Zwilling. David Aardsma has done a terrific job this season, 6 for 6 in save situations.
Not bad for a guy who never had a major league save before last year in 128 games.
2-2 on Jones, who came up in the 9th inning last night and won the game with his second home run on his 33rd birthday. But less than 24 hours later, in the bottom of the 9th, on the 97-mile-per-hour fastball from Ardsma, Andrew Jones strikes out. Well, if this game ends soon, we hope to send you to the Yankees and the Angels with Joe Buck and Eric Karros down in Anaheim. But for those of you in the Chicago and Seattle markets, you will only be able to stay with bonus coverage of the Yankees and Angels until the top of the hour. Here's Paul Konerko, who has grounded out 3 times, including a double play back in the 4th inning. Ardsma looking to save it for Doug Fister, who pitched 8 innings, allowed only 2 runs. Both coming on one swing of the bat back in the 5th.
And we'll say it again, a very impressive performance by the young, tall right-hander of the Mariners, Doug Fister.
1-1 to Konerko. A drive to deep left center. And Paul Konerko pulls the White Sox to within a run. Seventh of the year for Konerko, his second of this series. The Mariners lead is now 4-3. And how important was that 4th run awarded to the Mariners in the top half of the inning?
By Fielding Culbreth, and you can imagine Ozzie Guillen is boiling down there. But again, in our view, Fielding Culbreth made the right call. But there is a big difference in a cushion of 2 runs for a short reliever compared to 1.
First home run allowed by Ardsma this season. Brzezinski fouls it back to the screen. By the way, Tim, Doug Schwilling played for the White Sox and the Cubs, his only 2 major league teams. Played for the White Sox 100 years ago during the 1910 season.
2 years after the Cubs won their last World Series, 1908.
And he would play for the Cubs in 1916.
When Wrigley Field was 3 years old. Of course, it wasn't Wrigley Field then.
That's right. Two 2 on Brzezinski. There's Joey Cora running the White Sox following the ejection of Ozzie Guillen. Joey, the bench coach. By the way, Tim, as we take another look at the argument after the run was awarded to the Mariners.
That was a quiet toss.
Yes. The home run by Konerko, his 7th. He is now tied for the Major League lead with Matt Kemp, Nelson Cruz, and Vernon Wells. Those 4 players have one fewer home run than the Seattle Mariners. Franklin Gutierrez back in the 4th inning, hitting the 8th home run of the season for the Mariners. Only the Astros have hit fewer. 1 out, bottom of the 9th, 1 run in for the White Sox in this half inning on the Konerko home run. 2-2 on Brzezinski with Carlos Quentin waiting on deck. And Brzezinski shoots it into center. Gutierrez makes the catch for out number 2. And now the White Sox down to their final out.
Yeah, I didn't realize when Brzezinski hit that ball that he broke his bat, but he carried the handle down to first base.
So here's Carlos Quentin, who homered last night. He is just 3 for his last 40. For 3 in today's game. 1-1. One and two. Fister in line for his 3rd win of the season in 4 starts.
Looks more nervous now than he did when he was pitching.
1-2 from Aardsma in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There is no question that Doug Fister is more nervous now than he was when he had something to do about it.
In his last 3 starts, he's pitched 23 innings, has allowed only 3 earned runs. Bonus coverage of the Yankees and Angels coming up. The 2-2 to Quentin is high. So the count is full with Alex Rios in the on-deck circle. Payoff pitch from Aardsma. Fastball missing inside. And the potential tying run is now on at first base.
I think you may see a pinch runner, Jason Nix, right now. Yeah, Jason coming out of the Sox dugout, and he'll be the pinch runner for Quentin. Doug Fister's reaction to that ball 4 call. We have not seen that face or anything like it all afternoon.
So now with Nix pitch running for Quentin. Alex Rios will step in against Aardsma. Rios with 2 hits today. A single in the 5th, single in the 7th, scored a run back in the 5th inning. First pitch from Aardsma, strike 1. One now on Rios. Aardsma had not allowed a run in 6 prior appearances this season before the Konerko long ball here in this 9th inning. 6 for 6 in save situations so far this season. Rios high drive, deep left field, and for the 2nd straight game, the White Sox win it on a walk-off home run. It was Andrew Jones last night and Alex Rios this afternoon.
Unbelievable. You have got to be kidding.
Following the injection of Ozzie Guillen in the top half of the inning, the White Sox hit 2 home runs in the bottom of the 9th. Their first back-to-back walk-off win since July of 2008.
Fastball up. And the White Sox are up. Aardsma immediately walked off the mound. The minute Rios swung. Home run number 3 on the year, and watch Aardsma. The life of a short reliever. Devastating loss for Seattle.
2 home runs in the bottom of the 9th inning for the Chicago White Sox. Walk-off victories last night and again this afternoon over the Seattle Mariners. For Tim McCarver, Kenny Albert saying so long from Chicago. Up next, bonus coverage of the Yankees and the Angels.